All right, all right, all right. Here we go. Just got done with my show. The bunk hole. And I went through, and this camera is really dark, and I don't know why. Doesn't look too good. But let's see who pops in here. I see one viewer. I see two viewers. Is there any more viewers? Yeah, I have a thought process. It's Ohio Steve. Good to see you. Thanks for coming into my show. I know it was a long time coming. I know this is terrible, isn't it? I'll just stay right there. So, hi, Steve. Let me invite. Let me get this invite up. Copy. Paste. If you want into the StreamYard, just go ahead and click that right there. Ohio Steve. If you want in, you don't have to get in, but if you want in, you can get in. Just click that link. So what do you think, Ohio Steve? You think the 433 work days is a little bit excessive in charging and convicting or not convicting somebody? I think it is. I think it's incredibly outrageous that they've drawn me all out 433 work days, 635 calendar days. Then to give me a mistrial, slap it on me, manifest necessity. I don't think that there's another, like I said, court case in West Virginia on misdemeanor charges that have gone this long. I have not seen any record, any trial for misdemeanors that has lasted this long. It's mind-boggling if you think about it. And to keep my iPhone for 2 years, what do you think that's about? What do you think that's about? It's about keeping exculpatory evidence from me. They didn't need that hardware. See, I would have shown up with that evidence. You see, if I had my hardware and I could had my own video, I would be able to use that video on my iPhone. Yeah, Steve. So, it's actually a really egregious thing because they're doubling down on denying me rights. They bring up what they want and they don't give it to me. That's doubling down. That's hurting me twice. That's whenever you bring something in that you don't just give in discovery video and deny video, that same video to the defendant, That's doubling down. That's hurting me twice. And then to deny me my iPhone, you're not bringing my iPhone video in as your evidence. So you're going to keep me from bringing it in as my evidence, aren't you? Which is doubling down again. It's hurting me twice because you're not entering it into evidence and you're not allowing me to review my own evidence that I took on my own, and it's my property. It's not just a singular event. When you do something like that to people, you're hurting them twice. That's the value of it. That's why it hurts so much. By giving me a thumb drive that is not functional in its HTML capacity, is omitting .bin files from me. At the same time, you are going to use them. That's hurting me twice. Jack off, Jack. You're here.
Yeah, that's pretty nasty. What's my sound like? Am I bad? Am I 5
No, you're good to go, brother.
I got a fan going in the background.
No, this is going to be a short StreamYard. I just wanted to get some opinions on if I'm thinking about this right, that at every level they've doubled down and hurt me twice with each one of their movements. John D. Nicola, good to see you, brother.
Very egregious. It's, like I said earlier, they're maliciously prosecuting. It's not. And again, you have laid the timeline out for anyone to see that has eyes, you know?
Yeah. And I've done it over and over and over again in different ways. And I'm transparent with it. I'm auditing the system. And I'm doing the work.
Well, I can say on this day, which I don't hold a lot, and on holidays and things of that nature that folks recognize, but I do. I do respect your service that you're doing now.
Thin Blue Line Slayer, what's going on, my brother?
What's going on, brother? How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I just went through my show with what you already know.
Right,
you're already up to speed, right?
Right, I'm up to speed, bro. I know exactly what's going on.
I was just explaining that every time they withheld my phone from me,
yeah,
they hurt me twice.
Right.
Right? Because they aren't going to use my phone video.
Right.
And they're preventing me from using my phone video, which hurts me twice.
Well, I've been saying that to you. Remember, I was saying that to you.
Yes.
They got over on you because they wouldn't even let you use your own video to prove your innocence, which is fucked up.
And they weren't going to use it as as a prosecutorial evidence.
They just wanted to keep it so you couldn't use it.
Correct, which is actually a doubling down of damaging me.
At least you got it. I thought they erased it. I've been saying I thought they erased it.
No, I got it, and there are 7 videos on there, probably an hour and a half long.
Right.
Altogether about an hour and a half long.
And it shows your interactions for that day.
Every interaction where I was standing through and through.
Right.
GPS coordinates and everything.
And yes. That's why they didn't want you to have it.
Exactly.
That's why they didn't want him to use it as evidence, or they wouldn't.
Right. And what really fucked them up is that second thumb drive. Right.
That got him.
Not only that, Miss McCabe saying that there was no evidentiary value on my phone.
Right.
So whenever you couple the two, that's devastating.
Right. It is. It really is. You're right. That is devastating. And it's kind of got their whole case twisted.
And then you put the whammy on it of the no drone footage. It's just another doubling down of punishing me. You know, they asked for a continuance for a drone footage.
Well, yeah, right. I get it. But you know what? I think it's a delay tactic on their behalf. They're just delaying, dude. They want to keep you. They want to keep you within their confines as long as they can to make you plead out and take some kind of deal. That's what they're trying to do. Go ahead, Dan.
Yes, John D. Nicola. Apparently, tampering with evidence gets a mistrial, not a dismissal of all charges.
Right. That's what it gets you. Right. That's crazy, isn't it? We went over that. I thought that was insane.
Yeah, I mean, Thin Blue Line Slayer and I've been over this like with a fine-tooth comb, haven't we, brother?
We sure have, man. Looked at every which way possible of how they were looking at things.
You've been with me for 635 days. Do you know that calendar day?
I know.
I mean, for God's sakes, you and I have been talking 433 work days.
Right.
I mean, the Saturdays and Sundays included.
Right. Trying to get this figured out. That shit's crazy, man, isn't it?
I mean, how many Merry Christmases did I give you? 2?
Right, two birthdays. Holy crap! It just went on and on. You know,
terrible.
It's insane. I told you they don't like you. They don't like your contempt of cop. That's what they don't like.
Well,
you didn't listen. You gotta listen to them guys.
I really leave them in an untenable position.
I know
the way I file my motions and what I say in them.
Well, like we always said, if you hired an attorney, he would never file the type of motions that you filed ever in his entire career. Never. He wouldn't be accusatory of anybody because they all work together. You know, they're going to go have lunch together. She can't be, you can't be going to lunch with the prosecutor and she says, "Why are you accusing me of all these things?" Go ahead.
Look what I've done. I really got them so fucking discombobulated that they had to pull a mistrial out of the fucking hat.
I agree. I told you they were going to do that. Remember, I said that too. I said it's a mistrial, dude.
They had no clue of how to answer any of my motions because, again, I kind of cornered them in a box.
What's their next move? What's their options?
Well, their options are to retry them again. That's their options. That's the only option they really got.
They can't drop it.
No, they could.
But come on, John. We're talking about they don't want to drop it. The fucking Ricky Bobby's been in charge of the whole fucking operation since the get-go. It's crazy.
I forgot to tell you guys this.
Yep.
Right at the end, Miss McKay or Miss Puckett, she looked over at me and she said, "Okay, now that this is a mistrial, in essence," she didn't say it that way, but she said, "You know that I'm going to bring Miss McCabe into the trial."
Hey, John, I laughed at that too. You know why I laughed at that? She is an incredible she's uncredible for what she does. It
really gets to her that I've accused her of tampering with that fucking thumb drive.
But they did.
But somebody did.
Somebody did. I think it was Ricky Bobby.
You can do a stamp on that thing, man. MDS, yeah.
What Miss McKay, what Miss Puckett,
Puckett, right?
She has produced the exact same thumb drive that she gave me initially,
and it ain't the same. The videos, even the videos from his GoPro, were not on there.
What I'm saying is, the timestamp at 3:19 was the first one. That's one she gave me.
Right.
She needs to come up with the exact same thumb drive.
Right.
Because I got Ricky Bobby's thumb drive at 4:19. It was modified.
So that's a month later.
No, an hour later.
Oh, okay. Oh, you mean okay? I get what you're saying.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say, guys, is that like if you download an executable, an installable, or anything, it has an MDS stamp that's
Right.
attached. You know, and
Right.
Identification stamp.
that's what should be implemented here within the court systems.
So
Right.
this whole time, I've been calling them out. You heard the audios, right? You haven't heard the audios up to this
Right.
point of how
Right.
much time I spent on the phone with these people trying to resolve not only my GoPro and my iPhone being returned to me, but speeding this motherfucker along.
Right. Getting it going. Because I don't know if they know that between his continuance from the trial up until he even asked for a dismissal was 4 months.
4
And
months.
they still haven't gave him a new they never gave him a new trial ever. He still hasn't got a new trial.
But
Go
they
ahead.
blamed that on me. That 120 work days, they
Right.
blamed on my continuance. Remember?
Right,
So
they did.
Over. Are you gonna have to request another jury trial again?
Well, the judge assured me that I would get one.
Right.
No, I'm saying
Right.
is that for mistrial, do you got to start all over and go?
Yep.
All over again.
That's all over.
Get on that part then, or should have already. It's already been. That was 5-2.
So now they can continue it on for another fucking year. Is what they can do.
And they hid everything that they did before. All the malfeasance. I can't bring that up in the new trial. I'm going to sure as hell try. A mistrial is a mistrial. A mistrial only happens on certain occasions. If a jury is hung, and usually if it's a mistrial other than that, it's because they say the defense did something wrong or the prosecution did something wrong. Very seldom. You're roboting, dude.
I'm sorry. If they did try to blame it on you, or I mean, if it was
Oh, he kicked out. He'll be back up in a minute.
Yeah, so you got to start this all over. You already do that. That
yes.
was 5-2, right? You already applied for your jury trial.
Well, right then and there, he asked me if I wanted a jury trial. I said, yeah. I didn't understand what the fuck he was saying at the time, but I got the point in the end. It was like nothing I've ever seen. This place is like nothing I've ever seen in my life. I swear. Yeah, everybody says, oh, that fucking court system there and this court system there. No, this place is fucked up hillbilly style, man.
That is the mountains.
I mean, it isn't just one fucking banjo playing. Every fucking around the mountainside you're hearing the ding, 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 ding.
Well, that's okay. I kind of like banjo music myself. They just need to stay with the law and what's right, to the next person. Yeah.
All right, then Blue Line Slayer, you're back up.
All right, yeah. So anyway, like I was saying, by the prosecution asking for the mistrial, it looks like you're the problem. You understand what I'm saying?
Well, he didn't know. He said no. That's what maybe what they want it to appear to be.
That's what I'm saying. It appears to be that way.
The mistrial didn't happen because of what I did in trial. It was what the prosecutor did in trial and not giving me the evidence that I needed.
Hey, you're barking up the wrong tree. I'm just telling you how they made it appear to look.
I know.
Let's break this back. How are you at fault? Is this situation?
Well, because I asked for a
that you have?
because I asked for a continuance.
You didn't ask for a continuance during that trial. Didn't the judge just give you a continuance?
No. I asked for initial continuance, and it lasted 110 days.
Yeah, that's not your fault either.
No. But that's what they're trying to say. If I filed for a continuance with prolonged it, and now the magistrate's sick, and oh no, it's manifest necessity.
That's fucking hilarious, dude.
It is. It's ridiculous.
That's crazy and insane. That's a fucking insane thought process,
In
dude.
the 4 month in between, that's what they came up with, manifest necessity.
I know
Up to
because
the first trial, it was I'm to blame because I got the extended continuance.
because check this out, the judge, the judge didn't get sick until after you filed a motion to dismiss or
No, to
recuse them
disqualify.
or disqualify them. Sorry, yep, I'm sorry, I didn't have the right word.
He
But
didn't get sick until after I filed
That's
for that motion.
and
in
that
January.
and that was already 4 months from the continuance. So that's 100% their fucking fault.
Absolutely, it is.
Because I mean, if you'd have got your trial date, you probably wouldn't have filed that recusal. You just did that to get the ball rolling again. Pretty much
No
is what it
shit.
is.
That's all I did. I
Right.
filed that motion to disqualify to say, hey, is anybody paying the fuck attention to me?
Right. Right. That's what I'm saying. You didn't even file it really knowing you weren't going to get a damn,
Oh, who does that? Who fucking goes to the court and say, hey, can I come?
Right. No shit.
A lunatic does.
Right. You're fucking insane. I told you you were.
I have pushed these people at every fucking level.
It just goes to show that they're the ones to blame for the fucking delays. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, they go ahead.
I think that our strategy, mine and yours, and the people here, have enabled me, and specifically you, because you've really been there day to day with me.
Right.
That they have let me set up a game plan that is fucking devastating, man.
Right. I mean, if you look at all the stuff you got against them, they committed more crimes than you ever did with your supposed trespass and obstruction. You know what I mean?
Oh, John D. Nicola, you are too smart for this fucking panel. Go away.
What did he say?
Okay, well, John D. Nicola says this. What? Have you thought about filing for a change of venue, citing the issues from the mistrial? Ding, 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 ding. That is my next venue. I could also, I believe, start a 1983 civil lawsuit.
Right, and I told
I'll tell you, I know Thimble Slayer, and I'll tell you why. Because this judge, this magistrate, has already acknowledged that the first magistrate violated my rights by not giving me a jury trial.
Right, he already admitted to it. It's already admitted to in open court.
Open court. And he's telling me, yeah, do you want a jury trial? Yeah, I want a jury trial. That's what I asked for. Yeah, I see that. You got it in 4 days before you were supposed to. I said, yeah, I know.
Me and you wrote that up too. So
yes, we did.
So I know we got it in on time because we sat there and did it to get it in on time.
Because you kept on saying, you got to get it in. You got to get it in. I'm like, hold on, patience. And I'm like,
right, you're like, patience. I'm like,
right.
You only got 20 days, remember? It's only 20 fucking days. I told you. You can't be patient. You got to do it right now. Right.
And yes, and John, go ahead.
What did he say? Go ahead. What did John say?
And John D. Nicola, yes. I could cite the change of venue, the issues in the mistrial, of course. And that's, well, me and Thimble Slayer talked about that, didn't we?
Yep, we sure did. We went over that too. We thought that was a good idea. Right away, if they bring you back to trial to file a change of venue, right away is what he was going to do. So,
Ellie, good to see you. How have you been?
Oh my God, Ellie.
Oh my goodness, it's been a long time.
Oh man, sorry, Matt. I went in the house. I was barbecuing and smoking a joint, and I went in the house to go get some barbecue stuff. So I got cut out. Go ahead, though.
And Ellie has been in here with us since the beginning too. Minus last few months, we haven't seen her too much. But Ellie, you're always welcome here, and we love you. But Ellie knows pretty much what's going on, except for, as of late, and I don't know if she was in here at all during my show or not, but um, she could catch up to speed pretty quick because she already knows pretty much the inside scoop.
Right.
Filing a bar complaint, yes, and that's right, John D. Nicola. Would you stop? Filing a bar complaint against the prosecutor for prosecutorial misconduct based off of all that was done in this case. Absolutely. You see, I got all of these things in my quiver,
Right.
and I think they know it. I think they
I
know
agree.
it.
I think they know it too.
If anybody else wants to be in the chat, in the panel here, just go ahead and click that link.
I agree with you. I think they know it, dude. I mean, I don't believe he admitted in open court that his judge fucked up. It's stupid. Whatever.
It's crazy. These people just keep on getting in deeper and deeper.
But you know why though? Because they know that it ain't really a hole for them. They can do whatever to you, and that's the whole fucked up thing. You think anything's really gonna happen to them guys?
No.
Fuck no. Of course not. See, that's why they don't even fucking worry about it, because they don't have to.
Right. But I'm going to give them hell of a run for their money.
I get it, Matt, but you understand what I'm saying.
I already have given them one hell of a run for their money. How much have they spent on me?
Right. That's what I'm saying. I'm gonna say upwards of about 60 grand right now.
Maybe less, 20, 30 grand, maybe.
But you were already in a fucking trial too, which is,
I was already in a trial, correct.
So a misdemeanor trial is automatically about 30 grand. You know that, right?
Well, I don't know about that, but I'll take your word for it. You got something to say,
30 grand, man. Yep. Go ahead, though.
Jack?
Now, when you go to the civil side, that's going to cost them. They're going to have to hire lawyers that actually qualify.
Well, did you notice I began my show presentation in the law library with the first phone call to them was my medical records, and I was spot on with that. I'm spot on with that too.
I missed the hour.
Say again?
I missed the first hour. I was late. I was taking a nap.
Okay, Beggs was told to go with me to the hospital.
Yeah.
And he's sitting there.
Records to be sent back over and deleted. And back.
No, I need that video of my medical records. That's my property.
Right. That's what he told me.
Or you need to send it back over to the hospital. It's their property too.
Right.
Buzz, good to see you.
A copy or they were
the original
footage.
There shouldn't be any copies.
No, it should be original. And
if they copied it, that's even more of a violation.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. They can't just send a copy. They're going to have to delete it. And in turn, you actually even ask them to do this and that about the record, meaning that they would still be holding the record if you request information from the record.
So he's right, Matt. They would have to copy that the last part of that video. They probably have to download it to something, and then they'd have to delete it off of the video. Because he's right. Otherwise, they still hold him.
Correct. By opening it up, you're violating my rights in order to investigate what you need to delete.
Right. I agree with that.
What person is viewing up to my hospital trip? Or are they just going to cut it off whenever they see the trooper enter my room?
Right. That's what I'm saying. They'll have to cut it off then.
And then delete it.
Yep.
I would keep
delete it.
All of those records that they're not supposed to have after they say they don't have it. I would request it.
Well, you remember, well, no, you don't. I called them, the prosecutor's office, and I told them do not delete any video or documentation pertaining to this issue.
Right.
There's a chain of custody here that has to be followed.
That's exactly right. And that's why the thumb drives are important.
Exactly.
It's all a matter of chain of custody. And which is the original, which is the one that should be used at trial. Yeah, that's right, John D. Nicola. They are stupid enough to violate HIPAA. It
This
isn't the
dude,
cop. It isn't the trooper that violated HIPAA. It's the hospital.
for letting the trooper in there with and take that
Correct.
video.
It's the responsibility of the record holder to keep that privacy, not the cop.
I never thought about that. They violate people's rights all the time. They do that shit all the time. You know that? I never
Of
even thought
course,
about it, but they do that all the time. Is
because
they take
unless it affects the furtherance of their investigation of the crime that they brought you there for.
right, right.
Like
Okay,
if
so
you had a fucking pair of fucking say chopsticks sticking out
right,
of your eye,
right,
they're going to want to be in that room to further their investigation. They want to make sure that everything is that everything is visible on body cam so that they can present it as evidence further down the line. That furthered their investigation. With
right,
me,
right.
the investigation was already over. I was already arrested for trespassing, I'm sorry, obstructing and then trespassing.
And you
Right,
weren't
right.
even given a chance to leave.
So there was no
Leave.
crime for him to be in that room in order to further his investigation of either obstruction or trespassing.
Yeah, because that would only be like they could have it on if they like took you in there for like a DUI or something like that, right?
A DUI is a good example, right?
Right, right. I would say something like that. Yeah, there ain't too
Correct.
many other good examples, man.
And that's why it's just nonchalant that this hospital staff allows that kind of stuff to happen, because
Because
most of the time they are there in that room to add to their investigation.
right, because I know when like if you're in jail or something and the guards bring you over, they don't videotape it. They don't have body cameras and shit, so they ain't getting your medical records. You know what I mean?
Well, neither are the hospital folks either. They're not wearing body cams.
Right, right. So they ain't right, right. So why should anybody get to wear a body cam in there?
Okay, John D. Nicola, when you go to court and your medical records need to be
Are you on mute, Starga? Are you on
what?
mute?
I'm not on mute.
Yeah.
It has to be a specific set of information pertaining to a date and time, okay, of a medical record, and it has to pertain to a crime,
Right. All right. Right.
and it has to be sealed in like 3 layers of boxes. You see, it has to be locked, and the judge has to literally unlock it
Right.
in a
But
figurative or physical sense.
Wouldn't that matter about how offensive the act is? Like whether it's a misdemeanor or a felony?
I don't think that would matter. You could have a felony DUI and it'd be the same, right? It shouldn't be any different.
No, it's no different.
I
So
mean, felony DUI, that means you ran over, killed somebody, maybe?
Well,
no, not necessarily. Felony DUI can be you're like 3 times over the legal limit, and they pull you
you're
over and you,
reckless driving.
huh? Or reckless.
driving.
Right. Right. Right.
Going back to a victim. I'm just going back to a victim. Consider a victim.
Oh yeah, I get what you're saying, but
Yeah.
I don't agree with drunk drivers being on the road. I'm sorry, I'm not going to agree with that. So
I don't like it either, but
Somebody asked you.
but I don't
I
like
know.
the tactics used to get drunk drivers.
Right.
If you really research where drunk driving, Mothers Against Drunk Driving, and all of that came from, it came from Michigan State Troopers versus SITs, and it was designated dates and times of the day that you could set up a checkpoint. It was between, I think, 11 and 2. Okay. And it was supposed to be, there were rules to it. You were supposed to publish where you were going to be at these checkpoints. You were to leave them a turnaround like 140 or 150 feet prior to the checkpoint. You couldn't do a blind curve and then all of a sudden appear. That would be entrapment. There was a whole bunch of stipulations, but all that shit went out the fucking window, just like Terry versus Ohio and Mims versus Pennsylvania.
Yeah, because I was thinking, I watched the video. I can't remember whose video it was, but they did it. They turned around before the checkpoint, and they pulled them over.
Yeah.
And they said, "Well, why are you doing that? What are you trying to hide, or whatever?"
Yeah.
And it's like you didn't want to go to the checkpoint. You don't want to be harassed by these guys. You don't have to go to the fucking checkpoint. Fuck them checkpoints.
I think we're kind of bird walking here. We're back on to the topic of what it was, is how and who can actually video or make a record of a health record and then share that or document it. That's where we came up to this.
Right.
The op can't, the nurse charts it into the electronic medical health record system. That's HIPAA compliant, and so are they. They've taken and sworn to it and been trained in the education. So has the cop been, this is what we look at, has that trooper been, is he on sworn oath of taking that test on the HIPAA?
Well, like I said, it doesn't matter if he's trained or not. He's not to blame.
I'm adding it to that. If he has, because I do know, I work in the medical field.
Okay.
Okay. And so even people that are not doctors but are privy to the situation and even data, the transfer of data and those types of things, they have to take that and they have to do the course and sign off on it. And so if first responders, and we know all this is all tied up back into government. So you've got your emergency systems, right? And they're all, anything that's emergency systems, whether it could be police, it could be the hospital, the EMTs, this all that, they all have to, and even the subcategories of those folks that are handling or involved with that data in the movement of the care process will have to have a signage. So you may be able to get him outside of qualified immunity.
Well, I agree, and I've thought about this, and I've researched it, and is the state police culpable in any way? Excuse me, in any way in housing my medical records instead of their proper place? In that light, that's what I was thinking. What you just said, described.
That's one avenue. I'm introducing another one. Culpable liability on himself. He took the test and signed off on it. That would get rid of qualified immunity.
Yeah, but what do you mean he took the test? What test? What test you talk about?
I am an IT person myself. I work for a hospital. I transfer records. I go into patient rooms. I help this, that, whatever. Myself, I have to take that test. I am certified HIPAA.
Okay, now that's taken in consideration that he has to be certified.
Yes, if I'm IT, I'm pretty sure him being part of the first responders would also be, meaning he took the test. You should probably look up his fucking history.
Well, that's interesting. And I've thought about it in different ways, and that's a different way that I've thought about it.
That's just an addition.
Yeah. But we're not even in that realm yet. And I know I brought it up about, the important thing is, see, if I go ahead and file 1983 right now, based upon, the civil rights violations, obvious. what happens then if they go ahead and recharge me? I don't think that would look too good, because that then again could be a retaliatory thing. I don't think that this trial has to be ended or over in order for me to succeed in the 1983 at this point.
Well, you're saying 1983. That's very broad.
Well, civil rights violation, uh, due process. I already listed it all. I mean, everything in all my motions, I've listed all the civil rights violations that all, if not most, um, that I could think of.
Well, I was telling you what I could think of.
Yeah.
Now,
I mean,
probably some HIPAA, but yeah, I'm thinking he, being a first responder, he would have to know HIPAA and he would have to certify on it.
Well, it isn't. I ain't even looking at the HIPAA part. What's going on, Joe Black? I'm not looking at the HIPAA part when it comes to 1983. That's a separate lawsuit.
that's a whole different lawsuit.
That's a civil lawsuit against the hospital. You understand?
Yep.
That
Yep.
might pay for my guest house.
And avoid the state police because they're capped anyhow. If you
Right.
understand how payouts from the state are, you're capped at a limit. And there's so much wiggle room when it comes to them being culpable in a HIPAA violation rather than the source itself, which is the
Right.
hospital.
Right. Because the hospital is
So
supposed to be
the
the ones
hospital will be
protecting.
civilly sued. The hospital will be civilly sued. I will 1983 Ricky Bobby Sue, um, Brittany Puckett, Miss McCabe, and Judge Mitchell, all in a 1983 lawsuit for deprivation of rights under the color of law for the judge not letting me have a jury trial, the manipulation of evidence, and the delay tactics, which I named in all of my motions, which are on record.
How does the
Right.
RICO? Does RICO not apply here?
Well, see, that's another level. I think RICO's federal.
It is. RICO's a federal.
And I think there are state RICO statutes too.
But
I
I
haven't
think
looked
that
into it yet. That's a
I
good
don't I
point,
don't
Jack.
I don't think it is. I think it's RICO is a federal.
Well, anyhow, you still have to prove intent that they all got together to defraud you of your rights.
But that's hard to do.
It's like
That is hard to do.
241.
Well, 241, them are crimes.
Right.
241, 242, 3, 4, 5. Okay. The 241 is a crime. It's conspiracy. Two or more.
Right. Yeah, that's a crime. That's not a civil lawsuit.
No,
That's
that's a
actually
crime.
criminal. That's criminal.
Correct.
Yeah.
Well, I'm learning here. Teach me.
And it goes up more severe as you go to 245. A couple of them are blatant civil rights, as in color discrimination, sex, race, and all of that, right?
That's hard to prove too, but right.
Well, no, that's the criminal part. That's the like 243, maybe
I get
maybe
it.
244.
Yeah, it's hard to prove.
It is. Any of them are hard to prove, and that's
Yeah, it's
why
all hard to
prosecutors
prove.
at the federal level very seldom ever go for 241, 242, 243, 4, and 5.
Right.
Well,
Right.
that's
I
not
agree.
fair. I mean, we're all supposed to be innocent until found guilty. You know,
Yeah, but that's
it's hard to look at whether they're a civilian or a government agent.
hey, yeah, but
Yeah, John D. Nicola, I know.
I live in reality. I live in reality, and I don't live in a fantasy world. That's how it's supposed to be, but that ain't how it
Yeah,
is. So
I
you
know.
can't live in a fantasy world when it's say that's how it's supposed to be. Go ahead.
I know that most, if not all, states have RICO statutes of their own.
Okay.
I'm
Just
I'm
saying,
almost positive of that.
just bringing
The
it up.
Rico's
I mean,
the Rico statute was actually made for organized crime. You know that,
we've
right?
already seen
Yeah,
in the
and
mystery video, we've already seen where they're all together in this fucking shit show.
well, we've seen auditors that have been
Right.
arrested together that have been charged with conspiracy,
Right.
just like John DeNicola says here, HBO Matt and Four Corners.
Right. Isn't that's screwed up, man? I told you
So,
that's the Rico. The Rico's an organized crime that they use for organized crime, dude.
Exactly.
Huh?
yes,
And
Which
that's
we proved.
crazy. Right. Right. But that's crazy that they could use that against anybody besides what it's supposed to be used for. I'm just saying.
yeah. If anybody wants up on the panel here, just go ahead and click that link right there.
Come on up, John.
Good to see you, Cajun Randy. Um, so with my case, there are so many ways. There's so many tentacles. It's really hard to wrap my mind around the different ways that I would have to go in order to put maximum pressure on them.
Yeah, but
see?
you're gonna have to separate it all out to where it's not like a double jeopardy. You're gonna split this.
Well,
You're gonna split this out to where it's not a double jeopardy.
well, here's what I had written, and I'll tell you. I was in contact with a lawyer in McDowell County. It might be in Wyoming County, but I think he's from Wyoming County, which is the neighboring county of McDowell. And they're having elections, and he's running for judge. He's running for, I think he's running for magistrate. Maybe not. Maybe he's running for Murkowski's job, circuit judge. But his name is Buck. His name is Buck. And I had Facebook messaged Buck, and he got back to me. And he's a former airborne ranger. He's a right winger. McDowell County is nothing but Democrat leftists. Brittany Puckett is a Democrat.
Judges all are, you can tell.
And his whole thing, he just laid it out to me, his background and all of that. And I filled him in on what was about to come on the 2nd of May. And that if he would like to join me in the proceeding, not join me, but show up, be one of the viewers.
Come lay eyes on.
Yeah, just come and watch me work.
That's pretty much, what I've got from you, Tugger, Matt, whatever you want to call yourself. This is everybody coming in here to see what's going on and report what they see, their version, what is, what's not. This is a group gathering to understand and give what they see from their perspective.
Well, I wanted him to. I would have liked him to come to see not only the contortions that I've put these people through. These are the people that he's running against, because what I was saying was there's an election coming up. The population had dropped, so they're going to get rid of one of the magistrates down there.
Yeah, go make us a play.
They're going to get rid of one of the magistrates down there, and Buck wants to run the show as a circuit judge.
We all know how dirty that shit is.
Well, he says he wants to clean it up and all of this and that. But if you get down to McDowell County, it's all Van Dyke signs everywhere. Van Dyke, Van Dyke, Van Dyke, Van Dyke, out the wazoo. So Van Dyke's going to get in there again. Buck is going to have no chance.
Ain't Van Dyke? That's the one you just went in front of for the motions hearing.
Yes.
Okay. He's the head magistrate in McDowell.
Correct.
Okay.
So I would have liked him to have come to see what I've accomplished as a just a layperson, really, how I've utterly gotten these people, and what brought it to mind was
So you
what
think he might become inspired?
well, what you had said earlier, Jack, is that it is. I told him in my email or my Facebook post message to him that I'm really bordering on double jeopardy here, a theory of double jeopardy.
Yeah, I
A
would say that.
theory that is not a conventional theorem of it's treading on new legal grounds, the double jeopardy that I'm thinking, because if through malfeasance of the prosecutor and the judge, there's a mistrial, then I get retried. Then at that point I'm going to call double jeopardy because it's fucked up.
Right, right, right.
I've already
Right,
been
it
brought to
is.
trial for these charges.
And through their insurrections, I got a mistrial. Through their wrongdoings, I got a mistrial.
So
It was,
it's
it was,
interesting that you brought up double jeopardy, Jack, because that message to a guy who wants to be the master judge down there, um, I wrote him that, and he never responded back.
Well,
Never asked me how it went. Nothing. I think he didn't want to do that because he'd be too close, or he
the
didn't
whole
want to
thing.
get into a legal matter that would he whatever. Right,
That's the
lawyers.
whole thing I wonder. John says change of venue, but that's at a certain point. But is there really? I mean, is this judge going to die and there's no one else that can try you? I mean, what
well,
is this freaking clown show?
well, the whole thing is not saying or Tugger saying that they can't retry him with another judge because he was actually not given his jury trial like he has, first of all. Second of all, that
Exactly.
judge heard all the testimony and everything. How can he fill anybody else in? He can't. So there is no other judge that could take it, really.
No, that's why they got the mistrial. So now they'll start all
Right,
over.
Correct.
right.
Because it's dirty.
But
And all at the same time, sweeping all their malfeasance, as John D. Nicola says, under the rug.
yeah, but I told you, you can bring that shit. I'm pretty sure you can still use some of that.
Oh, I can.
If you know, I'm pretty sure you can.
It's all documented.
It's all
It's
documented. That's right.
Oh, and by the way, Tugger, what app is that you're using to link all of that data into a timeline with the videos and the different WAV files and all that? What is that? Is that Sheets? Is that Google Sheets? What is that?
no. I actually took their timeline of events that wasn't filled in and filled in all the blanks.
The application that we're using.
I use a lot of applications. I use Photoshop. I use Premiere Pro. I use PowerPoint.
No, the one that you show for the timeline of the events.
That was their timeline of events. If you go onto their website,
What year or editor of that data is that represented in?
Photoshop.
Okay.
That's a Photoshop. It's just a picture of their rundown of what has happened.
Is that their data?
No, I filled in all the other data.
Only thing it had was like motions hearing such and such date. That's the only kind of stuff it had. Jury or trial.
If you would go on to the West Virginia crime or court system and look up a docket sheet, all it is a docket sheet. What's happened? What motions?
Right.
A motion out here.
But how are
Right.
you embedding those phone calls, those videos, those?
No, that was all individual playlists.
Yeah,
From VLC to
right. He put all those on his. He recorded all those on his phone.
Yeah, but he
no.
into a
No.
into
No,
a
what he was saying was during my show, which you missed, Thin Blue Line Slayer.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I put all the phone like we were doing, but you were here earlier with me before my show.
I was doing it. I felt it. Hey man, I'm being honest. I fell asleep on you.
I know. I was editing them phone calls when I was talking to Thin Blue Lens player, and that's what I was doing. So he knows the phone calls. It's just the
Right.
way that I put the phone calls into the presentation.
Oh, okay, okay. I guess I didn't see that, so I
Yeah,
wouldn't
what are
know.
you doing that with? What is that?
It's just a VLC playlist.
My God.
Right.
How are you presenting it? What is that? It almost looks like a variation of an Excel
Variation of what?
spreadsheet or something. Oh, what is
Yeah, it's
that?
pretty good.
A Google sheet?
No, it's nothing special. It's just a picture that I took off of the court website. I doctored it up with all the information right down to the number. All the calculations work front and back. And I just inputted it on the top of their sheet in Photoshop. And then I exported it as a JPEG in whole and opened it up as a picture.
And how can a picture have an embedded link on it?
No, there was nothing embedded. I filled in the gaps by having a playlist of the audios that I wanted to play at a certain time.
Yeah. Yeah,
In
John.
a different application.
Okay, well, you're clearly light years ahead of me.
I have multiple applications open when I'm doing
I was
this,
supposed to be.
Yeah, but you're only presenting with one.
but I'm presenting it as one presentation.
Right.
But I'm switching between multiple applications and trying to be as seamless as I possibly can be.
Well, you must have did pretty good because John doesn't know.
Or Jack, that's Jack off Jack.
I mean, Jack. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess I did an all right job. At times, I seem like I kind of swayed a little bit.
You must have did all right, John. I don't know. I was sleeping.
Yeah. But overall, I think that I got the point out, and it came down to a climax. Mistrial.
Mistrial, right?
Ain't that some fucked up shit?
It is, dude.
That's all right, John D. Nicola.
Then we talked about a mistrial though. Before that, remember I talked to you about it.
Yes, and I talked to Brittany Puckett about it too.
Right.
That's what gave her the bright idea or whatever. I don't know. They were all leaning to mistrial anyhow. Idea. They were all leaning to mistrial anyhow.
These are not the drones you're looking for.
I agree that they were. They were all leading towards a mistrial. That's what they wanted. So they could sweep their dirty shit under the rug, like I've been saying. They could get rid of all of it. And you know what I'm saying? And I even stated, it's not a loss for them anymore. So they're not too much fucking worried about it, if you know what I mean.
That's right.
All they worry about is their wins and their goddamn losses. It's all them fuckers care about, man.
They can wait this out. They can wait it out, right?
Right, it's whited out. It's gone.
That's why it's
gone
now. 110 days.
Yep.
More than that term.
Yep.
They got a year to try me again.
They got a year again now. Because what?
Because
they
got a year to bring me to charges. I'm sorry.
Tugger requested a continuance. That right there, from my understanding, would be a term, a continuance. I think they threw that in there. They might use it, you know what I mean, in their mind. For
what they're saying is he wrote up all these motions, right? And they're blaming his motions for taking more time too, which they can't do. And that states that right in there too, that they can't use the amount of time that it takes for his motions as a way to count that against him. You know what I mean?
All the rules, procedures, codes, and everything swing right to 10 days for a
10 days. We looked up. Yep.
For the initial continuance, it's a 10-day period.
Right.
Tried to get 11 times that.
Hell yeah.
No shit.
I'm at 110
Hey,
days. What the fuck? Ain't
right.
that some bullshit? Right, John D. Nicola?
Right. Well, the one from the trial, yeah, about the same.
Right.
Because you remember
That
Brittany
was over
Puckets was
130.
shorter.
That was over 130 days or 40 days or something like that.
Right.
I guess the law don't apply.
That's what I've written in every one of my motions.
Well, I don't want to hear that shit. And they ain't gonna look at that shit.
They are not following any of the rules. Not one of them.
We do shit a
Well,
little differently down here. Hey Matt, we do shit a little differently down here in McDowell County. Don't you
That's
know
what they told me
that?
on one of them phone calls that I did not record because I didn't want to record across state lines.
Right. Right.
From a two-party to a one-party consent.
Right.
I ain't going to do that.
Right.
That takes you into a different realm.
Right. I get it, man. I get it, man.
We're trying to work within the bounds of the law.
Right. Even if we're on a maybe not, I'm still going to err on caution and don't do it.
Right.
Okay. Because their thought process is, well, we'll arrest them and we'll work it out in court.
Right.
Just like they do any other crime.
Yeah, Matt. Sometimes, we're really in depth on about what's happening and what you're fighting and everything else. But I think it would be great, like sometimes to reiterate why you do these things.
Why?
Yeah, what created you?
Huh. I've never been asked that before.
I mean, that's kind of a hard question, actually.
Well, no, it's a really simple question because I've been holding it back and waiting for a civil lawsuit or some prosecutor to use it. And it's all wrapped around.
I mean, why would somebody put themselves in this position?
Well,
you could be at home mowing the yard and your wife cooking fried potatoes and we got greens. Why are we doing this, sir?
Well, I just don't like dirty, rotten bastard thieves, and I've always been a get away from me. I've always been through the Marine Corps with my oath to defend the Constitution. I was a bootlicker. I admit it.
Bootlicker.
And I'm a recovering bootlicker. So I'm actually in an AA situation, but it's
that was a good one.
Auditors Anonymous. Okay.
Right.
And,
Right.
You're
doing the 12 steps.
When I saw auditing, I said, well, hell, I'm not a bootlicker anymore, but these guys are more in line with my beliefs. And I've been doing this for years, like Thin Blue Line Slayer. And I've been saying, we've been doing this for years.
No,
we didn't know it was auditing.
What fucking happened at this spark?
Well, it was called a divorce and being sent to a mental institution. That ain't really good for you because then your Second Amendment rights are taken away from you and you're categorized as a crazy son of a bitch. And from that point forward, I had to battle and struggle at every facet and level of legal, from civil to family to divorce to legal courts. That's what got me started with the legal system. Prior to that, I wanted to be a state trooper. So I took all the pre-law courses and I did criminal justice and did all of that. And I said, nah, that ain't for me early on.
Yeah, but you're down with joining the Marines and doing their bidding.
Well, no, I joined the Marines. Then I got out and wanted to be a state trooper.
Same thing.
And I said, no, that ain't my cup of tea. And
So what
I
happened?
got married, and after 13 years, I got in a really nasty, heavy fucking divorce. Something that I don't want to get into, but it's the craziest thing you'd ever want to hear. Just like anything else in my life. Okay, I ended up being confined in the mental ward for child custody purposes.
Like myself, there was something that happened to me that someone that folks did to me.
Okay, so from that point forward, I had to argue in court to prove that I wasn't crazy at every level, from my job to child custody. Go into child custody saying you spent 72 hours in the loony ward.
They get you by what you love. John Coffey said, they get you by what you love.
And then in the middle of all of that, my brother dies at 34 years old in a state penitentiary, Chillicothe, Ohio. So in the middle of all of that fucking shit that's going on in my life in a 4 or 5 year period of all the litigation that I was going through, learning, trying to find out what law is what and what pertains to where in 3 different fucking venues: employment, divorce, child custody 4, and legal. And now I'm being thrown into a 5th. What happened to my brother who was 34 years old? I didn't get shit from that fucking prison or jail. And that set me on a course to really despise the police. And I realized also by just watching them develop over the years that they developed from these guys that just walked around with donut powder on their fucking shirt, not really bothering too many people, to these fucking militaristic fucking Gestapo style fucking paramilitary fucking gang members.
So do you understand what the Third Amendment means?
Okay, tell me.
No, I'm asking you.
No, tell me.
No, I asked you. But if you're asking me, to me it says that we will not have any type of military type person.
But that's in your home. That's in. I understand, posse comitatus, and I understand that you can't have troops marching. You can. It's that it can't be housed in your home. They can't be quartered.
You know what I think? I think America is my home.
Okay, but it goes on. It branches off to other things which are similar to what you're talking about. And that's where the Fourth Amendment comes from, with searches and seizures.
No, I'm not. I'm still at the third.
Okay, but anyhow, you asked me, and I'm trying to get to it as quickly as I can about why I do what I do. Because when my brother died and I got 302'd and I saw every one of my rights being just evaporated, and I'm thinking, I'm a Marine. Why? I mean, I'm right with you guys. Why are you just taking some bitches fucking quotes and shit? See, when you get into domestics, that's whenever it turns into another level of fucking legal.
That's what this
is. You're never going to win. So, okay, you're never going to win. So, but I didn't know that. But I gave it a good fight, and I spent many days in jail. I spent many days in a fucking psych ward just to see my children. Never missed a child support payment. I was always giving my children $100 extra each a month, on top of the $900 I was giving them or her. Okay, so and I was still being put in jail.
Not to be too personal, but was that tax money?
Huh?
That money you was giving them extra, was that tax money?
Is it tax money?
Were you a public servant?
Well, I
Yes,
work for
but
well, I work
yes,
for a
but no.
municipal. I work for a municipal authority.
Right, that's a water company. Which yes, but no.
I was a government employee.
I'm trying to figure this out because you're really not telling everything.
What?
You're trying to lay it all out there. Look, I totally
Well,
respect you. I love your fight and everything, but I'm about transparency.
okay. Well, here's where I'm going. When I saw auditing, I've always been a filmographer. I took filmography in high school. I know how to develop original film in a dark room. I was into it. When I saw auditing, I'm like, that makes sense because I remembered it as a Zapruder film. Do you remember the Zapruder film? Do you
No,
remember Rodney King?
I remember Rodney King.
Them are all shot by private citizens of events
Right,
that happened on a public sidewalk.
free,
right,
free,
JFK getting shot and Rodney King being beaten the fuck up.
right.
transparent.
And I remember one case, not Turner versus Driver, not Houston versus Hill. It's called
Remember this
Fields
stuff?
versus Philadelphia. Fields versus Philadelphia. The judge asked one of the most brilliant questions of the government attorney when asking about a cop that wanted qualified immunity because he arrested somebody filming Fields, the police.
Right.
And the judge asked the government attorney, who was arguing on the side that only people that were going to videotape for private purposes, like a diary, could film in public, the police. And then if they disseminated it and what they did with the fucking video after they shot it, that could
What's
be
the
illegal.
what's the crime? Supposed crime, right?
Okay.
Two party state, one party state.
So the judge looks at the fucking government attorney and asks one simple question. Under your guise of what would be legal and illegal to film in public, that means that the Zapruder film would have been illegal to
The
release.
Rodney, the Rodney King film would have been
The
illegal to
Rodney King
release.
film would have been illegal to release.
Right,
And then he went
right.
on to say that the majority of videos today that are released from private fucking cell phones that capture something because the press can't be everywhere all the time.
It's the one A.
And the government attorney was brilliant. So, after all the experiences that I went through, and I started studying auditors and more constitutional law, and I've met people like you and Tim Blue Lanslayer and John D. Nicola, truly brilliant people that ask great questions and get my mind stimulated and get me motivated, and it's a whole host of things. I
Well,
have a driving determination to right or wrong, just like what's his name in Quantum Leap. I can't stand to see people just be abused by the government that I actually fought for.
Well, I could argue
It's a
that.
slap in my face. And I'm going to rectify this situation right now. I don't take money. I've never accepted any monies except for one, and he forced it on me. Sergeant Chucko. And it's still in my account. I haven't touched it.
Well, I appreciate
$25.
Did you get drafted?
Yeah, to do another picnic video.
No, did you get drafted into the?
No.
No, you went in there.
So what happened was
What?
after all of this, and just the thought process that this will not get any better unless somebody steps up. It doesn't matter if you're a Marine or not. It's just a matter of decency at this point.
Right. So I guess we should define how to citizen. If you're going to be a citizen and call yourself a citizen and you're going to actually vote, well, then you should probably know your rights.
Well, voting is a form of First Amendment speech, and just like any other speech, you don't have to fucking speak, do you? Which is a form of speech. So, to break it all down to a final conclusion,
So
after studying and meeting Carolina Auditor, I found an individual that could further educate me in what he has done for years. He had 25,000 subscribers when I met him, and he's one of my best friends today. One of the most brilliant people I've ever met in my life. I've never seen a smarter man than Carolina Auditor, minus John D. Nicola, that is, and Thin Blue Line Slayer and Jacob. I mean, there's so many of them, but Carolina Auditor's up there.
yeah, he is. So
Okay.
basically, you saw some dirty shit and just said, I need to clean this up.
I'm done with it, man. Listen, I'm already being bombarded by these bastards.
All I'm
At
doing
every step, they're fucking hitting me. At every fucking step. So why not go after them for once?
all I'm doing is asking you a question.
And here's another thing. I have self-confidence that I could take these people on in their arena and beat them. It's the ultimate in chess. It's the real life game of chess. It's like getting into an MMA ring. And not too many people want to do that other than trained fighters, bar members. It's stimulating. It drives me. Sometimes I feel like shit. Thin Blue Line Slayer says, "Don't worry about it, Matt. Go out there and audit more." No. He's like, "Stop, Matt." And I agree with him. I need to stop. I'm too old for this shit. Plus, this has gone on for 635 days.
All you got to do is live and die. And anything in between that, I hope
after all this is said and done, you ain't going to see me much. I'm going to be on the golf course. Fuck you, people.
No, I said you got my guest house down there.
Where?
Yeah, whenever this is over, I need a guest house.
Oh, yeah, sure. Just don't bring your boat.
Yeah.
That's funny.
It's optional.
So,
So that's good.
It actually hasn't even stopped yet, and I'll tell you why.
I'm trying to make you personable.
Well, I'll tell you why it hasn't stopped yet, because I got these motherfuckers on a rope, and there are things that I think that I could do here, and it may not work, but I want to get into some federal litigation.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it.
Representing myself or being represented by somebody and be asked the question, what you just asked me, and how I've taken all of this time to explain why I do this. Why do I continue if I don't gain anything? Because the ultimate question they will always try to fucking get you on. I'm so successful, and the reason why is because I precursor what they are going to do. So it's the old adage, don't ever ask a question you don't know the answer to. They will always ask a question that they don't know the answer to, but they assume a lot because they get away with assuming a lot.
That's why your iPhone is in your back pocket.
So they're going to ask me one question. They're going to ask me one question, and it's going to blow the whole thing open. And the one question is, you get paid on the YouTube to harass and intimidate people and harass police and government workers, and you just make money off of it. That's all you are, is an agitator. Is that not right, Mr. Ballin?
It's kind of
I'm pretty sure as a retired
I'm sorry, the opposite way. It's in.
person of service, you probably have a retirement.
Okay. And what is my answer going to be to that defamatory statement? I'm going to object, or I'm going to have my attorney object that that's defamatory. It's assuming,
Thank you.
and that is not any way the kind that the reason why I do this. My client has not accepted one dime off of YouTube or any donations. He doesn't ask for subscriptions. He never asks for any money. He never solicits anything. So I would like that statement to be retracted. This man gave an oath to defend the Constitution, and that's what he believes, and that's what he thinks by filming and being the member of the press, that he has that right, and that's the only need he has to have. There doesn't have to be any other need than he has a right to. It's
No
that
reason.
simple. And whenever you go ahead and try to add money into it, you, prosecutor or defense counsel, are inserting things that are false and defamatory.
Right. Right.
And it'll shut them up in a heartbeat. I'm waiting for that fucking day.
Is it not a duty?
Say again?
Is it not a duty once you swore an oath to the Constitution, which you have?
All I need is the oath that I swore. What if you're going to ask me? Listen, if you're going to ask me to risk my life for the Constitution, then why wouldn't I film for the Constitution? And that's all I need.
Is it not
When somebody asked me, why would you want to die for a government? Why would you want to die? Why would no? Why would you? No. The jury would be like, first off, the answer would be, why did he choose to swear an oath to die for the Constitution at the most? Now you are asking that you're misrepresenting why he films?
You're one of those guys. That's why.
And if I have to use that, I'm going to use it. And you laugh, Jack.
No, look, I'm 100% you, man.
He's laughing at me, dude.
He's just looking at what's bolted on.
So, to just slap them down with their whole entire allegation of, just like they did to Chili, just like they do to all of them guys, they cannot do that to me.
Chili's still in jail.
I am clean. They have nothing on me. They can't say that I'm dirty or wanting money or I'm greedy or any of that shit that would play over on a jury any fucking day. But it ain't going to happen here.
You don't even get a jury trial.
Or a judge, whatever. You get a jury trial in civil action.
Well, let's see.
You do?
If the judge has gotten old and he's about to die, let's just see how long you can hold this out, Tugger.
Well, I'm not talking just about the fucking criminal. I'm talking about any of the 3 civil remedies I have for multiple aspects of any of them, from the prosecutor to the judge to the trooper to the hospital.
Time, place, and manner plays out in many more ways than what folks think about. The judge could be ill, lame. You could not wait out however long they wait you out.
Well, hey, I'm still here, aren't I?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This is their game.
The thing that they're used to is people settling within 5 or 6 months and everybody moving on and they get paid. They aren't used to prolonged chess playing.
Right. They're used to the quick out.
You're used to the 4-move fucking checkmate that everybody knows.
I I hope that you don't take me saying things that I say as like I'm negative with you. It's
No,
not. I'm totally. I'm like
no.
100%
I'm just saying that
bringing this out.
you asked me the question why I do this, and I'm giving you a solid answer at many levels. It isn't just one simple thing. It's ultimately I know that I could beat them at their game. And at each step, even though they win this battle or they try to do this or that, it doesn't make them look that much better.
And it's because you don't quit. And the
Hey.
fact is just what I said before, is that that's the same thing that this judge is looking at. You know, and it's the same thing with you too. What if you die? What happens to this? All the work that you've done. What happens? You know, and the same thing with the judge. You know, all I did was take and apply with the judge, him being lame, sick, old, this, that, and I'm applying it to you. You know,
Well,
you got the
here's another reason why I do it. I hope that by us doing this together, that this will be on YouTube for as long as YouTube exists, and that hopefully it's, somebody will learn something from it. Maybe a person will go in and represent themselves, and maybe they might do the same thing and cost them fucking more money. And if more and more people do it, then guess what? They're going to be clogged the fuck up, and it's going to be costing them a shitload of money.
And then they'll stop with that fucking bullshit. You understand that? They'll fucking stop with that bullshit.
Thank you.
Did you see the tribe come in and he said, "You're not pro se." He said, what did you say?
Yeah, I did see that. It was
what did you say? He said, "You're not pro se."
Not the defendant.
Petitioner.
The what?
A petitioner.
Yes, a petitioner. Yeah, but I like to say pro se.
No, but I'm questioning that. You know what I'm saying? I'll go back and I'll look at that.
Yeah. But I like to say pro se. It grades on them, you see? That's why I say it.
Yeah, but I'm thinking he's laying down a whole other mindset from a different optic.
Yeah.
Petition the government is in the First Amendment.
Well, I understand petitioning, but see, petitioning of a government, and Cajun Randy broke this down to me real quick, and it hit me like a fucking, like a shot to the head. It hurt me. When you say redress or petition government, specifically redress isn't for you. It is for you to go and say, "Hey, what's up?" The redress part is what they answer. What their answer is. That's the redress of your grievance. You have a grievance. They redress. You don't redress shit.
So I only petition them, and then they redress me.
And redress is the same kind of principle, I think.
They're supposed to answer what I say. Hey, motherfucker.
Right.
What is this shit?
Right. They're redressing your question, your inquiry.
Right. When I go in there and say, hey, motherfucker, what is this shit?
Yeah. The tribe. The tribe is right. Redress is correction of errors. You go in there and say, hey, you're fucking up. And they say, okay, we'll correct it. We'll correct these errors. That's what their proper response should be.
So as to edify, actually.
Rectify, right?
It doesn't always necessarily revolve around money.
To make correction. So we have to petition in order to get a redress, in order for an edify and for them to edit and make it correct.
They're redressing your gripes about what they are doing wrong.
Grievances.
Right.
So, but we're getting far afield from what the show was about, and
Sorry.
but that's all right. And I'm glad that Jack Off Jack asked me that, because it's a difficult question that had to be answered in a multi-level way. Richard, good to see you, man.
Big Rig.
So you there, Richard?
Yes.
What up, Big Rich?
Brother?
How you doing?
I'm doing good. You been with me for the day, or I saw you were in the chat?
Yeah,
in the
watching
show.
on and off. Just watching on and off.
Got myself another one down here in West Virginia, don't I?
Yeah.
He just laughs at you. That's how crooked those motherfuckers are down there. Huh?
Dude, that place, that entire state is about
Fucked up.
it's fucked up law-wise, legal-wise.
I'm
Oh,
sorry.
man.
It's a beautiful state. The
It
land.
is a gorgeous state.
We got to reclaim that. We got to reclaim it.
That
It's-
ain't never gonna happen.
It's beautiful. It's one of the most beautiful states I've ever been in.
Really?
Oh,
You
it's
ain't been
gorgeous.
around much.
It's
You
really
need to
gorgeous.
you need
No,
to
it's
go
really
around.
gorgeous.
Look at the polluted streams.
Yeah,
All the wiped out timber.
yeah,
all the wiped out. Yeah, coal mines stripped all the shit.
all right. It's a fucked
You
up
need to
state.
get out.
It's a fucked up state, and it's it's scar tissue.
Don't say it, Richard. You're saying that the government has allowed commerce to rape the bitch.
No, I'm just saying West Virginia is a shithole with a lot of dumb white trash. That's what it is.
You said it, I didn't.
with a bunch of fucking crooks, liars, and there's 99% of the people are dumb white trash, and the other 1% are fucking crooks. That's my opinion.
Well,
which one you fit under, Richard? I'm just fucking with you.
Hey, I wasn't born in West Virginia. I wasn't born here.
I'm just fucking with you, bro.
I come from Ohio. I'm just a worthless nut.
I agree. I agree. West Virginia is unique amongst the states when it comes to the law enforcement and the amount of law enforcement's there. It's amazing. For such a smallly populated state, they sure to hell do have a lot of fucking cops.
Shit, there are half cops, half population.
Why would you move out of a state that's prosecuting you?
Because again, it's long.
That be jurisdiction?
No, I have a house in Pennsylvania that I own that's dirt cheap. Why am I paying $1,000 out there in West Virginia if I can move home at $400? Plus, I wanted to get the fuck out of West Virginia. That place is fucking nuts.
Right, you see what they're trying to do to him, right? That place is fucking nuts. That place is nuts.
I guess what I'm trying to say is there, can we recognize there is jurisdiction between states? And so, like, if you're in a state that you're fighting a court case over, it might be a good move to get the fuck out of their jurisdiction to make safe that your body is safe.
Yeah.
Because they don't have jurisdiction outside of that. Unless there's some compact, and I'll be looking at that too.
No, they most states won't extradite for misdemeanors anyway.
No.
But if it's a felony, they'll extradite you.
Yeah.
So most states won't extradite.
Well,
They don't.
It's not until that.
And even yeah, I get it. And even though a state might not get along with another state or whatever, they have, because some states actually have beef between each other.
In order to extradite me, they'd have to go through the governor.
Yeah, they'd have to go through the governor.
The governor has to sign off. Pennsylvania governor has to sign
We
off
watched
on my
it.
fucking extradition.
We read about that, and it actually has to go through the governor. and the governor would have to do that. I'm pretty sure the governor ain't gonna want to waste his time on some misdemeanor trespassing case
You know how much it
from
would cost,
fucking West
and
Virginia.
local police ain't going to take on that cost. They aren't going to do it. But I'm not planning on doing anything but fucking showing the fuck up.
Right.
Joe Cole forced me to do that. Asshole. No, and you asked me, Jack, why I continue.
Well, that's why I wanted, to reiterate, why you actually have a dog in this, to make you more personable. What is it? You seem to get really deep in depth into what is the case in those perpetrators of the state, but we don't have a lot of background on yourself. We know you're a Marine. We know this. I know that your brother died in some government institution, but I don't really know a lot. I guess really what I would
I'm a
like
simple man.
be more personal.
I'm a very simple man.
Hey, listen to me.
Listen, I'm so crystal fucking clean. I'm so crystal fucking clean that I'm like Jesus like, except I swear a lot. And I'm not like I do sin, but the fact is I've lived a wholesome life. I have not tried to get in trouble. I've worked my whole entire life. I'm retired from a job of 26 years.
For the empire doesn't mean shit.
Okay. I have lived my life internally. I was a DJ for 20 years. I did bars, restaurants, parties, weddings, all of that. So I was a DJ for 20 years. I've been a performer all my life. I played the tuba in high school. I played the bass guitar. I play the jug. I performed with the Bakelite Boys. I've done nothing but perform my whole entire life. And this is nothing but a performance, but a real life performance. Brandon Mitchell.
And this is what I'd love to be shown.
Nude Guru.
So that it might be shown.
So it fits into my profile of being a performer, but because it is a performance. It's a dance with a partner, and your partner happens to be the police and the prosecutor and the judge and that system.
Right.
And to me, it's extremely like a moth to flames. I am.
Hey, Matt, you want to hear something funny?
Go ahead. You better make me laugh.
Okay, Will Thong, the one got caught sucking dick? In the court?
The judge.
Yeah, they reelected her. She ran again and they reelected her.
Oh, she's a magistrate? She's a magistrate again?
She's a judge again.
We're going to call her.
Who did she beat?
She beat all the people that ratted her out before.
Well, did any of the other magistrates lose their job like Tracy?
No, nobody ran against all them. No, the good, worthless cocksuckers.
So who gave up their spot for her to run?
She's a judge. They got two judges in each county.
That's a magistrate. Those are magistrates, right? And she's a judge.
Yeah, she's a circuit court judge.
Oh my!
See, that's what it is.
Gosh, you ain't gonna let that bitch be a circuit court judge, are you?
Yeah, they elected her. She won.
Oh my gosh, that is funny. That's hilarious.
We're gonna call it a cocksucker judge.
They have two judges per county now, and she got elected for the second position. I can't believe it. Well, it may be because West Virginia people don't have no values. These people, they don't care about somebody sucking cock. That don't matter to them. They probably wish they were the ones sucking cock.
Yeah, I don't know who's speaking, but you know what? Most people, what they do is they vote Democrat or Republican, and so they're divided like that.
Will Fong's a different kind of gal. She got caught sucking, letting her boyfriend, who was a government employee, I think for the roads department or some enforcement.
Incest.
And she would during the break in her court sessions have him come into her fucking back room chambers, and she'd suck his dick.
Government incest.
Yes,
They're going to get some really
and
some
and
babies
this
is not going to be pretty.
and this precious woman would force the people that she worked around to let her use their garage and their spare bedroom and every corner of their lives to fuck.
Is that
That's
the,
what's you
is
know
that,
what's so funny? You
is
know
that
what's
the
so
Third
funny?
Amendment?
You know what's so funny? They got one circuit court judge ratted her out. Now she's got elected, and the family court judge is the one to let her use her house to have fucking secret rendezvous. Now they got a good
No, that
threesome going now.
Remember, Richard, that was the one where they had a dinner party and the judge just stayed. You got a spare room, right?
Oh, I guess. Yeah.
Right. No, that was the one where they were only invited for dinner, but the judge got kind of tipsy, so can we use that spare room?
It's amazing, man. Only in West Virginia.
And
Only in
that
West
was
Virginia.
that was the fucking lawyers that were under her, the prosecutors and shit.
You want me to tell you what, Richard? I don't think it's only in West Virginia. Shit like that happens everywhere.
Of course it does.
Okay.
He
Well,
said he
yeah.
said he
I
said
just
that
never seen it before. That's why.
right. Well, I've heard of some outrageous ass shit, like judge using penis pump during the fucking trial, lost his job and got his job back. So it's crazy. It happens everywhere, dude. It's just like Jackoff said. Um, it matters whether they're Democrat or Republican, and they'll
Yep,
just vote Democratic or
that's
Republican. They
right.
don't give a shit about the judge. It's just the party that they give a
That's
shit about.
right. That's
They don't
exactly
fucking
right.
care. Some they don't care if she sucked 100 different dicks. They don't give a fuck. Go ahead. Sorry.
I think they just vote these people in because they're all
N-
business oriented. They all rule in favor of businesses. They're all bought off by big business. That's all it is.
Welcome to every other
n-
governmental
n-
employee.
Nude Guru, are you implying something about somebody here?
How can somebody register as a Democrat or Republican and still be a citizen?
That's a
Uh,
good question.
well, okay. I don't want to get into politics. Okay,
Right.
I'm
I
just
don't want to
saying,
get into R and B. Both of them are one and the same. Let's put it
They're
that way.
both
Amen.
both
Amen.
two crooked wings
they actually
on the
registered
same crooked
themselves.
bird.
They say that they are this. They gave up anything of being a citizen. They have now said that they are this group underneath that. They have subjected themselves off into another thing. You see what I'm saying? Like the government will call you a felon, or this or that, classify you. They have classified themselves down into to well their options of what they can do. They are living underneath another subsection of a business, a corporation. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, I
They're,
know.
they're outside of any kind of liberty.
I know. We all know. But see, when you start talking that way, they're going to peg you as a sovereign
Sovereign
citizen.
citizen. And
You
which we talked about too.
are a sovereign citizen, Thin Blue Lines. Richard Tobias, you're definitely one.
Hey, how
Uh,
can I be a sovereign and a citizen at the same time? It makes no sense.
how can you be?
How can I be sovereign and a citizen at the
And
same time? It makes no sense.
well,
Nah, nah.
what's I can't. I'm starting. I had this question a couple months ago, maybe a couple years ago. I don't know. What's the difference between uh, uh, liberty and freedom?
Okay, the punchline.
I guess liberty comes from a government and freedom comes from God or born right.
That makes sense.
Okay.
You don't ask your government for your rights.
You
That's,
shouldn't have to ask.
that's liberty. That's liberty.
Right.
Okay.
Recognize
See,
your rights from God.
here's why I don't so much get into
You don't believe in God.
the sovereign citizens. I ain't going to get into God or any of that.
Right.
The sovereign citizen thing. This is why nobody in the judicial system has even broached the subject of me being a sovereign citizen. Not once in any of my fucking hearings or trials for the 4 or 5 years that I've been litigating in criminal cases, I've never once been called a sovereign citizen. You know why?
Because you follow the law.
Because
Follow the
I
law.
play their game. I
Right,
don't
follow the
claim that
rules.
it's the right way. I don't claim that their way is right. I completely know that their way is the wrong way. That
Fucked
I
up.
could just very easily be a sovereign citizen, not sovereign citizen, but what they portray as a sovereign citizen. But
Sovereign.
I don't. I understand birth certificates. I understand capitalizations. I understand
You
corporations.
the
I
Second
understand.
Amendment?
I understand the whole entire package, and I agree.
Do you understand what the freedom of religion is?
Yeah, it's freedom that the government doesn't impose the central religion on you.
It's not. So, see, this is what I can't understand. Why can't I just make my own religion? Ain't I free to make my
You
own religion
can.
then?
You can.
But then don't I
I
have
know a
to?
lot of people that
Don't I
are.
have? Don't I have to go like um fill out some paperwork or something to be recognized?
You have
Yep,
to. You have to
but
believe.
that's only to be a nonprofit.
Okay.
No. You have to believe it.
No, what I'm saying is,
All these
it,
fuckers that said identifying as this or that. That's what they're
There's all kinds of fucking people out there that would say, "Hey, just come to my little class here, and you could get one of your little. You're a priest or a pastor
I,
or whatever, and
right,
here's
I
your
get it.
certificate."
Right, I get it. No, but what I was saying it more for is because um, um, like what if I just wanted to say I was Rastafarian, and let's say they use weed in their religion, right? Let's say weed was outlawed in my state. I, that's fucking with my freedom of religion, isn't it? If they arrested me for having marijuana and it's part of my religion, wouldn't that be imposing on my
They
right
will
to the
just
freedom
say
of
that the
religion?
overarching good of the population is not conducive with your religion.
That's bullshit, though. They can't do that.
supposed to be respected.
Okay. The overall harm of the substance counterbalances your need to worship it.
You have to prove that.
Okay. The overall harm of what you are teaching does not qualify as, we as government they can do whatever the fuck they want to do. Okay.
Right. I've been telling you that, but I'm
Which
just
is
saying.
what they're doing to you, Matt.
And I don't want to get into religion
All right.
and what
Go ahead.
government can do because most of these
It
motherfuckers,
is part
most
of
of these
the
motherfucking
Constitution.
churches allow fucking politicians to go into their
Part of
churches
the
and
Constitution,
speak,
Matt.
and they're fucking supposed to
And
be charitable organizations.
you
Right.
can't
Right.
involve yourself like a Catholic priest, sir. You're gonna have to deal with it.
Okay, so
Matt's identifying as a Catholic priest today.
yeah,
Okay.
all right.
I'm
God
sorry,
bless
man.
you, God bless you, my son.
I had to do that. That's
But on that note, I'm hungry, I'm tired, and thank you everybody for coming in. And I'll keep
You
you up
gotta-
to date as best as I can on what happens if they recharge me. If they what they're gonna have to do is they're gonna have to re-indict me.
Yep. Yep. And hold on. That means that they have to have probable cause now. So they
Correct.
have to go back through and make sure they got the probable cause.
Correct.
Because
Let's look at these words that we're using.
if all this happened
Did they really?
And now they figured they got, because the same magistrate that didn't give you a dismissal is the same one who gave him the warrant for your arrest,
Yep.
who
That's
gave him
exactly.
the
That's right.
probable cause.
That's
So
right.
it's
It's
fucked
all
up through and through.
confirmational bias at this point. They're going to do what they're going to do to confirm what they've done to me before.
Right. It's all fucking fucked up. It is really bad.
Otherwise, what happened is once Tugga, Matt, whatever we call him, he's a soul, but once he disgraces them, everything that they've already done and anything they might do is off the register. It's gone.
Yeah.
Right.
It's gone. There's
They'll
nothing.
wait for the time limit to end, and then we'll both walk away without anything. No win, no loss.
Right. That's what I told you.
Disgrace
They
them.
just don't want the fucking loss, man. You understand that? They hate the loss.
Matt is going to disgrace them. Therefore, their word is no longer.
Right.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I'm a little bit bigger of a thorn to them. That they may have wanted to really try their hardest to get me, but at every step,
You just
I just slapped them around.
Yeah, you did at every level.
Their word is not going to be any good.
Say again?
Their word is not going to be any good.
No, it isn't going to be any good.
Well, that's what, when he talked about, she talked about bringing Miss McCabe into the fucking thing. I laughed my ass off.
Yes.
Matt goes, "What are you laughing about?" I said, "You think this bitch is credible anymore? She couldn't even
No,
find
Mr.
the evidence
McCabe
on the
isn't.
phone." Huh? Go ahead.
No, Miss McCabe is not, and I can't wait if she does.
Right, because she is uncredible, and you know what I
How
mean.
do you miss an hour and a half video on my iPods that you said weren't of any evidentiary value?
Right.
That's the first question I'm going to ask this forensic analysis person. How do you
Right.
miss my iPhone?
Yeah, that forensic analysis shit is up still cheap.
Oops,
Right.
Bad day. Didn't wear your glasses that day, Miss McCabe. Do you wear glasses?
Right. How many other people have you done this to?
Well, I can't ask that. Well,
I know.
I
You
can't. I
can.
can ask that.
You
No, I
can
can't.
ask that.
A grand jury.
Have you missed any other videos or evidence that you claimed it wasn't there?
Right.
And if you are the one that's choosing what is evidence, then what is the trooper and the prosecutor for?
Right.
So if you on your own decided that there was no evidentiary value to that, then you made the choice of Miss McCabe made the choice to deny the prosecutor possible evidence that can convict, or me possible evidence that can exonerate.
Right.
So, when they have been seen to be indigent in their current situations, we would look at their past situations. Because if they've been doing this all this long time with the misinstructions and everything else, we would look back at that. It's a whole big deal.
Ezekiel.
That's why they're running from it. You think that the cases right now that people are not pleading out on, everybody knows nowadays. Not everybody, but most people know. Don't plead. Just go through the shit.
I agree with that too.
And what happens is when they've been found dirty, there's a question on everything that they've done before.
I agree with that.
That is my foundation.
Well, I've already heard from Deep Throat that Miss McCabe is being investigated for exactly what she's done to me.
Withholding evidence.
Withholding evidence, hiding, doctoring,
Tampering.
Manipulating HTML links.
Manipulating photo.
And so, like, when Matt exposes this shit, all those folks that's been in prison, whether they're out of prison now or not,
That's exactly right.
on them, that's going
That's exactly right. And that's why I'm doing it too.
see. This is why I asked Matt, "What's your motivation?" Because I already know it. I just don't know that other folks know it.
Do you know how many people would be instantly released?
Murdered in the system, in the institution. And you know he wasn't guilty. You know it. The crime does not uh, deliver murder. And even and you say yourself you won't get into religion, which I don't. I don't believe in religion at all. I believe in God. I'm not a Christian.
I agree with you.
I'm a child of God. And so
I agree with you.
these things that you do is going to retrofit what's happened. I think that's your motivation. I don't know if you can actually say that, but I will.
No, I have to say this.
I wouldn't waste 2 hours of my time here.
The person through history that I try to follow the most isn't fucking Genghis Khan. It ain't fucking Alexander the Great. It ain't Caesar. It isn't all of these tyrannical bastards. You know who it is? It's Jesus, the wisest man to ever walk the fucking planet. I don't care if Christianity came from him or not.
Christ. He fulfills
Christ.
the law. He fulfills the law. Why do we have to keep?
So I am not going to call myself a Christian. I just call myself a person that reads history and acknowledges the brilliance of people like Socrates and Copernicus
A philosopher.
and Jesus. They're all. Do you know what Pontius Pilate asked Jesus when he met him the first time?
No.
Pontius Pilate asked Jesus, where did you get your wisdom? And have you ever read Socrates? Because Pontius Pilate found Jesus really, really wise to the point where when he first met Jesus, there was something about Jesus that was different, and he could barely speak. Like he was fumbling over his words when he was talking to Jesus. And Jesus's words were so wise, and the words that came out of his mouth, the few words that came out of his mouth were so wise. Pontius Pilate admired Jesus Christ, not because of brutality or Roman or whatever, but because he had never met anybody like him. As a matter of fact, some of the first days that Pontius Pilate was in Jerusalem wasn't the best time for him or the Romans. The first time he saw Jesus, Jesus had a group of people around him. And Pontius Pilate didn't stand there because he was carried everywhere, told his entourage to stop. And he sat there and he listened to Jesus. And this ain't going to be taught in Catholic schools. This ain't going to be taught in Christian schools. This ain't going to be taught in anywhere. Jewish, nothing. He sat there and he listened to Jesus for a little while, and he told his entourage to pick him up and take him away because he didn't want to disrupt what Jesus was saying. So he knew of Jesus before any of the temple and the Jews that brought Christ to Pilate for execution and or any of that. So you can talk religion all day long, and I'm right there. I know it, but I know more than what is conventionally taught. And because I've read Pontius Pilate to Caesar, a letter to Caesar about, you have to understand, Pontius Pilate was sent to Jerusalem because the last fucking governor couldn't fucking handle the place. There were uprisings every fucking week. They couldn't keep them Jewish people in check.
I guess they want the law.
Pontius Pilate only had 24 legionnaires. Not legionnaires. Yeah,
Can you
legion.
imagine gambling a person's life?
So
I'll set this one free.
Pontius Pilate wrote a letter to not only Caesar Augustus, I believe, but he wrote letters to other governors in the territory, asking them, begging them for troops, and they all turned him down. We got enough problems in our own territories. So Pontius Pilate looked at things practically. But when he interacted with Jesus, he had nothing against Jesus. He didn't do anything against the Roman Empire or the Roman emperor.
So then, who actually killed Jesus? Was it the Jews or was it the government?
No, it was Pontius Pilate. It was the Romans, because the only people that were allowed to execute during that time were the Romans. The Jews weren't allowed to execute. They were allowed.
It was the government.
But they called for his execution.
They vote,
But
right?
it was like a voting thing. They would offer this criminal or that criminal, and you'd all thumb up or thumb down which one was going to die.
And they let Barbarous. They let Barbarous live, who was a murderer. And
Hello, yes.
I said, God told me to do this, then I could be a blasphemer.
Okay, but I don't want to go too far afield in
Right.
this.
I'm not going to.
Stop now. Stop
You're
now. Yeah. Go eat, man. Go have a good.
But it's fascinating, the history of history. I'm not talking about this in a religious context. I'm talking about it in a historical context.
Fascinating
Right.
how men judge men.
Right.
And the judicial systems at that time. Do you know,
Right.
as a prisoner, you go in front of the tribunal and you're convicted. The day of, you get 1 day before you're executed, which Jesus did not get.
Right.
But you get 1 day, and on that next day, you go back in front of the tribunal, and they sentence you. And as you're walking away, if you turn around, you have one more chance to plead your case. And they have to give you that opportunity. That's in Roman law.
Okay.
Then, once you turned around, you pled your case, and they said, no, you're dead. You had no more appeal.
So that's like your one appeal, right? That's what I was going to say. That's like your appeal.
Isn't that why Jesus came? To fulfill the law?
Well, I don't know about that. That's getting into the religious realm of, fulfill the ultimate law, which is God's law, I guess.
I'm not talking about any churches that the Catholic Bible, the King James Version, whatever the other LMGT, whatever. But what folks really believe. What lives inside a person's heart. Because that's where it says really what's written on your heart.
Okay. Well, I
judge a person like that.
I kind of read stuff that is of current time and that is of.
You're 3 minutes over your 2 hours.
Yeah, I'm done, man. I'm out of here. Thank you very much, Richard. I'm sorry you just come back up. Thanks, Richard, for coming in and giving me that lovely laughter. That's funny shit.
That's hilarious, bro.
Well, you guys take care.
All right, you too, Richard. Later.
All right.
Later,
see you, Thin Blue Line Slayer. I'm out.
All right, man. Later, Jack.
Yes, sir. Mama said these cops are so mean. Cost tax dollars.